Good afternoon, everybody. I am Ashley Levesque, and you're watching the Daily Digest. We have had quite a busy day in the newsroom, and we've got lots of headlines to get through, so let's get started. First, this is one of those stories that I've talked about. It's got a lot of details, so bear with me and lock in. A Leesville man is behind bars after committing fraud against a fishing program to get a free replica, according to agents. So here's what happened. 40-year-old Jody Jean is accused of catching a fish in Vernon Lake and then submitting it to Toledo Bend Lake Association's Lunker Bass program, which will provide free fiberglass replicas to anglers who catch and release bass in Toledo Bend Lake. So basically, he's accused of trying to get a free replicated fish. Jean caught a 12-pound bass and then told some people nearby, including Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries agents. The next day, the agents saw Lunker Bass program made a social media post, and in this post was a photo of Jean posing with the bass that he caught. Agents recognized the bass and remembered that he actually caught it in Vernon Lake and not Toledo Bend Lake. LDWF agents obtained an arrest warrant for forgery and attempted theft. Jean admitted to catching the fish and was booked into the Vernon Parish Jail on April 1st. Jean is now in custody in Sabine Parish. Attempted theft carries a fine of up to $1,000 and 6 months in jail, while forgery carries a fine of up to $5,000 and 10 years in jail. Next, an Amber Alert was issued this morning after a truck was stolen from a convenience store with a 1-year-old baby inside. This happened in Baton Rouge. According to police, they searched the area and an officer found the truck about a block away from where it was stolen on Beechwood Drive. Only the 1-year-old was inside of the truck at the time and he was unharmed. He has since made a return to his family and is safe. And yesterday, a Louisiana federal judge hit pause on a challenge to abortion pill access. The case was brought by the state aiming to roll back FDA rules that allow patients to get mifepristone through telehealth and the mail. Mifepristone is a pill that will terminate a pregnancy up to 10 weeks, and that's been used in the U.S. for over 25 years. For now, the judge is keeping access to the same nationwide. He granted a request from the FDA to hold the case while the agency reviews the drug's safety. The FDA must update the court in 6 months. And you only have 1 more week left to file your taxes. Now you can file for an automatic 6-month extension, but please keep in mind that this is just for filing, and you still have time to pay what you owe by April 15th or incur penalties. And it's important to remember that the state doesn't require you to file until May 15th. So procrastinators, you have some extra time. And residents on Highway 14 have been expressing their safety concerns because their mailboxes are on the opposite side of the road. Every time they check the mailbox, they have to cross the highway. They're now petitioning to have their mailboxes moved. Residents say they've been complaining to their mailman for years, but in February they took it up with the Postal Service directly. Now they're back after filing documents and sending the Postal Service a letter. Devin Cruz was out there today and spoke with residents who petitioned for the mailboxes to be moved. One of which is an 86-year-old woman who said that she fears for her safety every time she has to check the mail. And that story is coming up at 5. Next, the job market kind of fluctuates over time. So Caleb Carter, one of our reporters, has done a story today, and he spoke with many campuses in the area, and he kind of talked about what is going on, why this is happening. So I'm going to bring him on now, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he found. Caleb, welcome.
Oh, always good to be on, Ashley. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So you told me a little bit about your story today, and can you give our viewers like more of an in-depth explanation, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a college graduate, then you probably already know this, right? But here's the thing: the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, they recently did a study, and they found that unemployment rate amongst college graduates has grown to about 5.7%.
Wow.
If you don't know, that number is way up. It's the highest it's been since about October of 2021. That was when, the pandemic was just
Right.
coming down. So, unemployment rates amongst graduates are up, and graduates are trying to figure out why.
Right.
So, what I did was, I spoke with some people from McNeese, some people from Sewella, also the provost from LSU, to figure out, what's happening to our college graduates. And one thing that they were telling me was that, here in Louisiana, I think we've been blessed, right?
Right.
The job market here, for industrial, students who are going into engineering, architecture, things like that, nursing here at McNeese, they're not seeing that problem, right? It may be concentrated in, some of the majors that aren't as productive, for lack of a better word. So that's what I've been able to gather from the people that I talked to. I also talked to a couple college students, and they were saying, it is kind of scary, jumping out into the workforce right now. I talked to an engineering student, and, though he said that, there are opportunities out there, they often lie outside of Lake Charles, right? He was born in Vinton, raised in Lake Charles. He doesn't want to leave home,
Yeah.
but unfortunately he may have to just to find a good paying job.
All right. And when is this story coming up? It's
Coming up right here at 5, so you'll
All
be
right.
able to see that right then.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see all your findings.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you, Ashley.
Thank you, Caleb. Alrighty, and that'll wrap up the Daily Digest for today. Thank you all so much for sticking around for your Wednesday headlines. Hopefully, you'll have a wonderful evening, and I will see you right back here tomorrow at 4:30.